From the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, this is an ITTV special report.
Our next guest carries a live HD truck almost in his pocket, but in a backpack. And we're going to show you all about that. Probably on his motorcycle, too, I'm guessing. He's always running around, literally around the world. It's always a pleasure to have the Senior Vice President of Strategic Development. Somehow I think we fit into strategic development. From NewTek, the folks that bring us TriCaster. Philip Nelson, welcome back into Tomorrow. How are you?
Dave, it is terrific to be here back with you at CES again.
Having a good old time on the show floor, and as we record this interview, it only just opened about an hour ago, the show itself, and there's so much to see and do. We're like kids in a candy shop, I guess, huh?
You know, this is like, this tells me here at CES I determine what I want for Christmas next year.
Yeah, good point.
That's it.
Yeah, and a lot of the products aren't available until next Christmas either,
Right.
but at least we get to touch and feel some cool things here, and of course, talk all about them. One of the cool things that we see here is right in our very own broadcast booth, and it's called the TriCaster, from a company called NewTek. Heard of them?
I've heard of them, and I love them dearly.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's why the logo's on your shirt. Yeah. But tell us, for those who don't know yet, how many things a TriCaster can do. And I'm going to guess 3 is a magic number.
Well, you know, the TriCaster is a live television truck in a box. And when we designed TriCaster, our idea was internet television needs to look like television, not like dorm room video on YouTube. You know, and so to create a professional, marketable, sellable show, it needs to look like broadcast television, because even my 12-year-old son knows what TV looks like.
Yeah.
You know, and he can tell the difference between a professional video and an amateur video. And so that was the concept. We wanted to allow anyone with an idea to create live TV, whether it's for the web or whether it's for broadcast television or even, you know, digital signage at a venue. And that's what TriCaster does. And the name TriCaster comes from the fact that it can broadcast to 3 things at once: web, television, and digital signage.
And you mentioned digital signage like sports arenas and so forth. This is an opportunity for them to bring everyone in their stadium, for example, instant cool things that they might not otherwise have been able to catch.
Well, one of the big clients that we work with is the NBA, and they're starting to do a lot more games in China. And one of the things that the NBA is known for is that fan experience. When you come to an NBA game, it's not just basketball, it's excitement, it's graphics, it's noise, the crowd going crazy, it's fun games on the video screens. And so what the NBA is doing, they're actually taking TriCaster to China and hooking it up to the screens and giving the fans in China that NBA experience that they're not used to seeing at a sporting event in China. So, yeah, we're seeing that. Then, like at the ESPN Winter X Games, I'm actually heading there at the end of January, and they're powering all the video screens at the venues, because one of the things when you're at a sporting event, sometimes you can't afford the $500 or $1,000 seats.
Yeah.
And so those video screens actually let you get closer to the action. And so at the Winter X Games in Aspen, they're going to have LED video screens so that when they're doing the slope style and they're at the top of the mountain, the fans at the bottom can actually see all the jumps until they come over that last jump. So it's really important when you're on a mountain doing, you know, extreme sports, to be able to bring fans to the top of the mountain and let them see those runs until they get into view of the fans at the bottom. So,
and over the years, we've heard from a lot of listeners that have heard us talking about the TriCaster. I'm going to have Andre show it to you here in a moment as well, maybe even as we speak, that have said, you know what, it's perfect for our school, our church, our various organizations where we want to produce information for our community, for our membership, and it gives us a great way to do that, because you have not only the ability to switch multiple cameras, but you have the ability to do full high definition. You have the ability to do all kinds of effects.
Green screen, virtual
screening,
sets.
exactly. So chroma key, fun things, and you do really, literally everything you'd need to do to make your production professional.
Well, you know, the exciting thing about TriCaster, and we always talk about the high-end accounts like the NBA, the Miss Universe pageant.
Into Tomorrow. You know,
Into Tomorrow, and you know, but I'm serious, you know, the high-end broadcasters like you and the other people I've mentioned. But what's really neat is that this technology is affordable enough, starting at around $5,000, so that the average school can get it, as you mentioned. And so a high school in Florida can be using the same technology to do their basketball game webcasts that the NBA is using to do their NBA Development League or WNBA or NBA Summer League broadcast and webcast. So it's high-end quality, but not as expensive as you would think, and so it's accessible, because that's really what the internet television revolution is all about.
Yeah.
It's not just NBC streaming video to your computer. It's your friend next door with an idea, creating a show and finding an audience. And because of the costs are coming down so quickly, you can actually make a show now, and you don't have to have millions of people watching for it to be profitable. True. And that's the big difference. You know, and one of the things that I'm seeing here at CES, and it's been coming, is technology being embedded into television to allow streaming content to be displayed in your living room.
Many companies doing that now, and many more, good point, here at CES are announcing those new sets.
And so that's what we're powering, is that live internet television revolution.
Yeah.
Whether it's content from, you know, Into Tomorrow, or, you know, a television station, or the Streaming Garage in LA, which is a guy, a television writer, actually got a TriCaster and converted his garage into a studio, and he's doing weekly shows. He does one called Stupid for Movies, and they've got 1.5 million viewers now.
Oh, wow.
Out of his garage.
Wow.
And so that really is the internet television revolution.
Yeah. And it used to be just out of your garage. It was like the old overnight cable shows that made no sense, and nobody would watch them more than a few minutes because they didn't have any production value.
Now it looks like TV.
Yeah, exactly, like it was meant to be.
You know, that's what TriCaster is. It's empowering the live internet television revolution.
And they start at price-wise, so folks
starting
get an
around
idea.
$5,000.
And you have going up from there based on features
Yeah.
and your needs and that sort of thing. But for $5,000 to have a production TV,
it's worth millions.
Exactly,
replaces $1 million truck.
Oh, no doubt. And you can do all kinds of cool things, as I mentioned, from a consumer standpoint. Think about your own organizations, your school, your church, that sort of thing, and look into it. And you can do it easily at NewTek, NewTek.com. And, of course, at your leisure, if you're listening to us on your car radio right now or something and you're not near a computer, don't fear. Come by the website anytime at IntoTomorrow.com. We'll link you to Philip's site, of course, but you'll see the interview, you'll see the TriCaster in action, and, of course, all the interviews here at CES, as well as all the other major shows we do around the world. We bring our TriCaster along, and I pray that it doesn't get damaged. It's such an important part of what we do.
It's roadworthy.
It is roadworthy. Philip, thank you as always for joining us. We appreciate it, and let's catch up with you again at another show and find out what else is new and exciting. Of course, Lightwave. We didn't have a chance to talk about all those cool things that you guys are doing. So you can see it all at NewTek.com.
Dave, thanks for having me. It's been great to see you again.
My pleasure.